Okay, so today, as promised, I will be discussing the OBSBOT Tiny SE 1080p, which is the baby to the OBSBOT 4K Tiny, or Tiny 4K, whatever you like to call it. Now, I have a lot of clients and their CEOs, founders, and the likes, and they always ask me, Mark, what equipment do I need to do the webinars? What are your recommendations? And one of the things they want is a no fuss. They don't give a damn about the tech and all of that. So what they want is something that does the job that they need. And they don't care whether it's expensive or cheap, but some people think, well, I don't really want to be spending thousands on having a DLSR. I'm recording this with the OBSBOT Meet SE 1080p, so you can see a comparison between this one and the one that's actually lower down in the quality. Now this one has obviously the gimbal. So a gimbal, what that does is it means it follows you around, which is very cool. And where would you utilize that? Well, if you're, say for example, if you're a teacher, if you're using a whiteboard or the likes of that, that's when that comes in handy. Now, it also comes in the box with a USB-C to USB-C cable and a USB-C to USB-A adapter, which is handy if you don't have USB-C in your specific laptop or computer. You just plug it into there. I don't know if you can see that. There's the little USB-C, and it also has a little flip that comes underneath, and this here enables you to place it onto your laptop or monitor wherever you want to. And if you want to utilize a tripod, it also has a tripod thread right there, which is handy because if you're teaching, you may want it further away from you and have it more at your height of your body wherever you are. For this sake of this video, we're just going to use my laptop monitor. Now, we will plug it in. So here is the cable, and you need to install the OBSBOT Center, which is the application that you'll use. Just open it up like that, and I'm going to slide it on to my laptop. There we go. It's on there. Marvelous. Now, from here, I can actually control the OBSBOT Center. Enables me to control both cameras. So you can have two cameras working, and you may want one. For this example, I'm going to be using two. I may have a guest in my studio, and I could use one on a guest, or I could be doing a demonstration and just want to flip over and have this particularly higher. So let's turn that on. So here is the application here. Now we'll switch over, and you see you have two buttons there, and this one is the Meet 2 1080p, and this is, here we go. There we go. For some reason, I've knocked it around to be the wrong way around, so I'm going to just change that. There we go. So now we're using the OBSBOT Tiny 1080p. And we'll just have a look in here. We're going to do tracking. Tracking is important because that actually turns on the gimbal. And the gimbal's really helpful if I want to actually get up and talk. I don't think my cable's too large on my microphone, but I'm going to just lift the cable up for the moment. And we can go stand up, and there we go. You can see that it's actually tracking me. So imagine if I'm talking, and as I said, if it's slightly higher up, if I'm talking long and it's tracking, that's really good. You can also decide on how to track. So you may want to just do a standard upper body. So now if I move up, it's now just doing the upper body. And then what do we have here? We have a close-up. And in theory, it should actually do a close-up, which is pretty damn good. I'm going to move around a little bit more. Obviously, my microphone may actually be a little short. But you get the gist. Still doing close-up. And you have the other features on there as well, which we'll go through once I sit back down and give the gimbal a little bit of a rest. Now I need my glasses for this. I'm going to pop my glasses on and I'm back. Well, I was back already because I'm talking to you. Okay, so here we got the application, and at the top it enables me, as I said earlier, it enables me to swap the cameras. And we can see the quality between both the Meet SE and the Tiny SE. They're pretty close, aren't they? Obviously, they're slightly different positions. Now, it's quite good to have a look at my neon sign, which is there. And you can see the quality on the Neo sign. It's not fantastic, but it's sufficient. I mean, again, on there is exactly the same. Now, as we're looking at the console, we can see, you know, from this, the console is specifically at the moment for this camera, the Tiny, and it has the different tracking modes, headless, lower body. I don't know what I would use that for. I'm sure there's a reason. Maybe I've got a necklace or selling a necklace. Lower body, again, I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'm showing a pair of trousers. Now I'm going back to the upper body, which I think you'd prefer to see. Tracking speeds, standard or sports mode. I should put it on standard because I'm not going to be running around a track. In fact, I don't generally run around tracks anyway. Now this is quite a good one, the hand tracking. Now imagine you're actually writing something down, you're jotting something, or you're showing an example. You can click on there and the camera will follow your hand. So come on, camera, move down. And here we go. We have the hand, and it's you know, I'll do an illustration and I can get away with doing a little illustration, and it's following everything that I'm doing, which is quite nice. We'll just do another. There we go. All right. I don't have to do an illustration, but you see what I mean. It's following the hand at all points, and that can be very beneficial. So we can turn that off. Okay, we want to go back to my face. I've got to switch on the normal tracking again, and then it comes back to my face. So you see the benefits in that is quite cool, and it has different levels of control. So if I turn the tracking off, I can actually really zoom in. I'm going to go a little bit wide there. I think that's a bit better. Okay, now when we come into the image, this allows autofocus, and the focus is at the moment set on the face, but if I grab hold of, say, the box, and it will focus onto the box at a specific level. So I am, there we go, I'm a foot away. It's pretty focused, but we're not going to put something that close, are we? Oh, it didn't like that. Come down, come join me. Okay, now in my studio I have two lights here, and these lights are set at a slightly warmer temperature, and it's a Kelvin scale, and the warmer temperature is 3,400. Standard Kelvin is, say, 5,600. So on here, this is a really good feature where you can change the Kelvin scale ever so slightly to, say, keep a nice tone in the face. And you'll see what I mean. If I go auto, then it'll flip to its auto Kelvin scale. And in theory, I should go... No, it didn't do that. Oh, there we go. We're going to go there, and it's actually made me slightly more blue. Now, by changing the Kelvin scale, here, if we go to 5.6, let's do it by hand. 5600, and you can see the standard color is actually coming out yellow. And I think it's much better to be around 600 with my lighting. Now, your lighting can vary. If you've got lighting that's coming from the windows, a natural light, then the 600 is absolutely perfect. If you're utilizing LED lights, they all come with slightly different temperature, so that's a really good feature. It also has the other features like contrast. We can bring the contrast down so it looks a little bit more moody in here. Or we can brighten it up ever so slightly. I like to keep it around 50. I think 50 is a good level. Saturation, well, you may want to add color in there. So here we have, say we're doing, I don't know, disco or something like that. Why would you be using this? Maybe you just want to do some effects. Maybe you're DJing and want to just add some saturation into there. And we can go the reverse, and maybe you're making film noir. You could be putting these cameras. It allows up to 4 in there. So you could have 4 cameras around doing different film noir effects. Well, that's if you want to do that sort of thing. Let's go back to 50. There we go. We're back to 50. Sharpness. It really does show sharpness, and I think it's quite awful. Look at that. That's my skin's. It looks unnatural. I can see with my hair. It just no. You can, maybe there's some benefit to that. But I will stick to 50. I think if I went to the other end, I can't see much difference between 0 and 50. Maybe it's different from every individual that's utilizing it. Then we have the hue, where we can change the color. So if we move it up, here we go. I've gone yellow mellow. And if I go the opposite direction, there's a subtle green in there. If I go in the opposite direction, I then start going purple. So actually, this will probably work with the saturation. If we go the film noir, that probably has, yes, see, we can play around because those colors definitely affect in black and white. So let's move those back to 50. Here we go. That's 50. I'm still purple. And back to normal. So now we've got the contrast, saturation, sharpness, and hue all set on the same thing. It has other features in here. So we're now on image. So we go more. In here you can change the noise reduction and all of that. And the brightness of there's a little light on there that actually, the blue lights that you can control the brightness on, so you can't really see it from here, but you may decide that you want to control that button brightness. You may want to switch the status light off altogether. And that's done. So problem there is you don't know if it's on or not, which actually comes when it sleeps. So say this is the camera. When you turn it off, it sort of the camera aims down, so it gives you privacy, which is quite handy. You just switch it off and it goes down and it's not filming anything. So that's its privacy control, whereas on the Meet 2 it's a little magnetic tabby thing that you put on there. Looks like a couple of pence there. Okay, we have obviously a microphone on here. Now you may not want to have a fancy microphone. This one isn't actually a fancy microphone. This is quite a cheap one, but I absolutely love it. I'm thinking I should do a review because I always recommend this microphone as well. I like stuff where I can just plug, play, carry around. This is perfect. So let's go to we're going to switch off the Fifine and we're going to turn on the OBSBOT microphone. Okay, now let's see. Here we go. We've got the OBSBOT. Now I can't hear it at the moment, but I'm assuming it's picking up more of the actual room. And so there's maybe a subtle echo, but hey, if you're doing a Zoom call, if you're doing a Microsoft Meet or whatever, it's absolutely fine. If you're wanting to do, say, YouTube videos or webinars, maybe a proper microphone or some lapel mics. You may want some lapel mics to have on and actually utilize those over the microphone that's on here. Okay, let's go back to the Fifine and we'll switch that off. Okay, so now other features that it has, right, it has the standard beauty modes. So we can say, right, we want to customize the man thing. And there we go. We've got some really strange things happening there. And face. So let's turn all of this off for the moment. I'm just playing around with it. And cheekbones and chin. So you can do absolutely loads of things in there. And we want eyes. Yeah, I had some freaky eyes on there. Brightness. I should have set this all back to 0 as I was playing with it. Now you may find that it's fun to mess around. It's entirely up to you. I've really okay, I'm going to reset everything. There we go. We're back to normal. All right. So here you can change your body parts. You can add makeup on there. So if you wake up in the morning and you want a bit of makeup, you can add all sorts of makeup on there. Personally, I wouldn't use it. You can even change your eye color. You may be having fun for the day. And there's other sort of filters on there. So if we click on them, you see it changes the backgrounds. And we want that natural. And then we have the blur, which is the background blur, which a lot of people utilize. Now, obviously, I'm in the studio, so it's not a necessity for me. But if I was in my living room, I may want to have it on or whatever. We can see it's okay. There we go. We go back to normal. So you have the beauty option. You can also get remote controls and all of that for this. And there's some other elements in there. So it's got lots of features. What do I actually think of the camera? Well, if I'm honest, I pretty well love it. I think for £130, it's an absolute bargain. You know, where can you get it? Where can you get a camera for that has such high quality, that has that gimbal process on there? So I would highly recommend it. If you'd like to actually know more about the Meet 2, I'll have a link up there, and you can click on there and you can watch the review on the Meet 2. And I think later on I'll do a review on my microphone. I have lots of microphones, I have lots of cameras and little technical things, but I thought I'd start off with these because these are what most people ask about. They ask what webcam, what microphone, all of that stuff. So let's, step by step we'll do it. And also we'll interject some business stuff in there as well, which I'm supposed to be doing more business. So thank you so much for listening. Remember to subscribe. That's the support I need. And I'll speak to you soon now. Bye-bye.